All right. Directing your attention to the screen, is this the same image as Exhibit 297 in front of you?
Yes.
And can you tell us what are we looking at here?
This would be the front of the Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross.
And going to 298, what are we looking at here?
The rear of that same vehicle.
And then looking at Exhibit 299.
That would be the left side of the vehicle.
Can you tell us what are we seeing here, these red strips?
That's evidence tape. Typically doors and trunks and anything that can open on a vehicle will be evidence taped and initialed by whoever's packaging it. That's just to show that the item wasn't tampered with during transport.
And then this particular vehicle was escorted by the Dodge County Sheriff's Office, but had come from Adams County, correct?
To my knowledge, that's correct.
And it had been previously inventoried by Adams County Sheriff's Office?
Correct.
Going on to Exhibit 300, what are we looking at here?
That's an image from through the vehicle from what would be the driver's seat.
So you indicated before that you initially take pictures from all angles and then focus in on anything of particular interest, correct?
Correct.
Was there anything of particular interest from just the driver's side of this vehicle?
Nothing from the actual driver's side, no.
And looking at Exhibit 301, what is this picture of?
This is the driver's seat.
And during your processing, did you observe anything of evidentiary value there?
No.
And moving on to 302.
That would be the back of the driver's seat.
And again, was there anything of evidentiary value observed in that area?
No.
Now moving on to 303, what are we looking at here?
That would be the inside rear passenger's door.
And 304, what are we looking at there?
The same door, just a mid-range photo, so slightly closer.
And is that typical of the way pictures are taken when you're processing this?
Yes, typically we'll take overall pictures from farther out, then mid-range, so zoomed in a little bit, and then if there's any items or areas that we really want to document more in depth, there'll be close-ups of those as well.
Was there anything of interest that was noted about this door?
No.
All right, moving on to Exhibit 305. What are we looking at there?
That would be the rear right passenger seat.
You mentioned earlier that if anything is inside the vehicle, that then it would be taken out and placed on a white piece of paper for inventory. Was there anything in this photograph that you had to do that for?
Yes, that yellow cap, and then there's an orange tag.
And moving on to 306, can you tell us what we're looking at there?
Yes, it's that same orange cap and then an orange Goodwill tag.
And so, is this on that white sheet that you described earlier?
Yes, it is.
Moving on to 307, what is this an image of?
This would be the trunk with the door open.
Was there anything of interest in this area?
There's an air freshener hanging from the rear hook there.
Am I circling that air freshener now?
Yes, you are.
When you first were processing the vehicle, did you make any observations about it as you opened and got into the vehicle?
There was a pretty significant scent of decomposition.
And what do you mean by significant?
It's hard to describe the smell. Once you smell it once, you'll recognize it every time after. I don't know what else to say.
Was it difficult to detect that odor?
No, not at all.
All right, moving on to 308. What perspective do we have here?
This would be inside the front passenger's door.
So at this point in the processing, are you simply just opening the door and then taking a picture of how it just as you observe it? Is that right?
Yes, without touching anything.
Going on to 309. What do we have here?
Just a slightly different angle of the previous image. There's a frog stuffed animal in the front passenger seat, and an ice scraper is angled.
Moving on to 310. What are we looking at here?
Those two items removed from the vehicle and put on the white sheet and photographed as previously explained.
Moving on to 311.
That's just a close-up of that frog stuffed animal, and there's some reddish-brown staining on it.
And Your Honor, could we dim the lights for this photo? Is the staining that you referred to present in this area?
Yes.
And then 312, please. And I just want to confirm that the image that we're looking at is the same as is marked 312, 312 in front of you?
Correct, yes.
Okay. What are we looking at here?
The same image of that frog stuffed animal just flipped over.
And then moving on to 313. What are we looking at here?
A zoomed in image of that same frog stuffed animal.
And what, if anything, of interest is in the very center of that picture?
More reddish brown staining.
Now, what happens to, or what happened to that frog after you were done processing the vehicles?
If we have items that aren't going to be collected as evidence and marked as actual items, we'll just put them back in paper bags and then return them to the area of the vehicle that they were removed from originally.
And then are those materials then taken into custody by the investigating agency?
Yeah, everything is returned to the investigating agency.
Mr. Nallad, are there gloves in front of you?
I have a pair.
And Mr. Nallad, do you have scissors in front of you?
I do not see scissors.
All right. Well, I've brought to you what's been marked as Exhibit 380. I've got scissors for you here.
All right.
Is Exhibit 380 currently in an evidence bag?
It's in a large paper bag.
And is that sealed with evidence tape?
Yes, it is.
Could you please open that bag?
Sure.
And can you tell me what's inside that bag?
It appears to be, excuse me, it appears to be that same frog stuffed animal.
And the best you can, could you remove it from the bag? And if you wouldn't just mind standing and holding it up. And is that the same green stuffed frog that was removed from the Mitsubishi Eclipse?
It appears to be, yes.
And the same that we see portrayed in the images?
Yes.
I move admission of Exhibit 380.
Any objection to receiving a fraud?
No.
For the very first time in 18 years, I'm receiving a fraud into the record.
All right, now moving on to Exhibit 314. What do we see there?
That's just a closer up image of the ice scraper.
And that's the ice scraper that was taken from the front passenger seat of the Mitsubishi Eclipse, correct?
Correct.
All right, moving on to 315.
It's the same image to show some reddish-brown staining just above the handle.
And then 316, 316.
Even more zoomed in of the same area of the ice scraper.
And now directing your attention to Exhibit 317. What area of the car is that capturing?
That'd be the center console.
And then 318.
Also the center console.
And what do we see in that picture in the center console?
Those are two vapes.
And again, were those removed?
Yes, they were.
And can we take a look at Exhibit 319? What are we looking at here?
Those items, as well as 3 pens that were also in the center console, removed and photographed on the white sheet of paper.
I am showing you what's been marked as Exhibit 381. Can you first just tell me what you're looking at as far as the packaging?
Sure. This is packaging that I packaged on July 1st, 2024. It's labeled with our case number, marker 5, red and black, Oni, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, ONEE stick, Smart 25K strawberry vape.
And has that bag been opened?
After packaging, yes, it was opened by the DNA analyst in this case.
And then is it opened in front of you? Is there a slit on the top?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And then can you remove the item from inside? And does that appear to be the same vape that was recovered from the Mitsubishi Eclipse?
Yes, it does.
And when you processed that, then where did that go? What was the next step for that vape?
After packaging it, I brought it up to the evidence unit, and then when a DNA analyst takes the case, they'll pick up the evidence from our evidence technicians.
I'd move admission of Exhibit 381.
No objection.
Be received.
All right, then moving on to Exhibit 320. What are we looking at there?
That's the bottom of the Mountain Dew bottle that was in the center console with some reddish-brown staining on it.
Is that observed here?
Yes.
All right, now turning to Exhibit 321. Again, I just want to confirm that the image in front of you is the same, which is marked 321, is the same as being displayed.
Yes, it is.
Okay. What are we looking at here?
This is a mid-range shot of the interior of the front right passenger door.
And looking now at 322.
That's a slightly more zoomed in picture of that same door.
And Your Honor, at this point, could we also dim the lights for these pictures?
Sure.
Thank you. I want to direct your attention to this area here right in the middle. Can you, at this point, just tell us what we're looking at there?
Sure. It's hard to see in the picture, but there's some reddish-brown staining in that area.
And moving on to Exhibit 323, can you tell us what we're looking at there?
A zoomed-in image of that same area to show the size of any staining. Sometimes we'll put a scale on there, which is what that white sticker is.
So when we start seeing these stickers, does that signify that that was part of that next process in processing the car?
It can possibly be for additional testing, yes.
But also, it's at that point you are specifically identifying areas of interest. Is that fair?
Yes.
And then moving on to 324. What are we looking at here?
Similar picture, just slightly zoomed in of that same door with reddish-brown staining.
And now directing your attention to Exhibit 325. What are we looking at here?
That is the front right passenger seat.
And what observations, just from this perspective, were you able to make from this?
There's some pretty significant diffuse reddish-brown staining throughout the entire seat.
Is that what we're seeing particularly here?
Yes.
Moving on to 326. What are we looking at here?
Basically the same image, just slightly down. It has part of the door frame in the photo as well.
And then 327.
That's just panning down slightly more. Pretty significant amount of reddish-brown staining on the frame.
Is that what we're seeing here?
Yes.
328.
It's a picture of the same area, just with scale added.
And now we see a white sticker with a number 1. What does that mean?
The 1 is, so anytime we get a vehicle, in this case, it came into our lab as item A. So anything we take off that vehicle has to be sub-designated. So we put a 1 there because this was the first item to come off the vehicle, so A1. Just to show for later where testing was and where sample was collected from.
All right, moving on to 329. What are we looking at here?
The same area, just zoomed in more.
So can you tell us what additional processing then did you do for this area indicated number 1?
I did a phenolphthalein test, which is a presumptive test for blood. It's a color change test, so you'll swab the area, add a couple of reagents, and if it's blood, it'll turn a bright pink color. If it's not, it will not change colors at all.
And did you do that testing here?
Yes, I did.
What was the result of that?
It was positive for blood.
What else did you do then from this area?
After we have a presumptive test will tell you if it could possibly be blood, but doesn't narrow it down to a species. So it could be any animal blood would also react to that. So the next step is to do a confirmatory test, which is human and higher primate specific. We call it a hemotrace test.
And was that conducted in this area, on the sample in this area?
Yes, it was.
And was that done by you?
Yes.
What was the results of that?
Positive.
And again, what does positive mean?
Meaning that it probably came from a human or higher primate.
So then at that point, do you pass those samples on to the next step?
Yeah, so I would take a swabbing of that area, put the swabs in packaging, seal that package up, and then bring it to the evidence technicians.
And did you do that for this area that was marked 1?
Yes, I did, and that'd be sub-designated as item A1.
And then was that further analysis done by someone else at the crime lab?
Yes, it was.
All right, moving on to Exhibit 330. What are we looking at here?
We are looking at the seat belt on the pillar of the front passenger door.
And what, if anything, did you notice here?
A significant amount of reddish-brown staining.
And in the position here, the seatbelt is not engaged, correct?
Correct.
Turning now to 331. 331, what are we looking at here?
The seatbelt is now engaged, and it's a photograph of the entire seat with seatbelt engaged.
And what, if anything, you know what, I'm going to give you the pointer here. And could you just use that to direct our attention to what you're observing here?
While you're doing that, if you could explain so that there's some kind of record, some kind of reference point to what you are basing, right?
Sure. Okay, so we have a pretty significant amount of reddish-brown staining on the seat belt. The main testing that I did was around this area. We take representative samples, so if a test is going to be positive for blood there, we typically assume that areas right around that are also going to be, and that way we're not collecting 100 items from what's probably going to be the same. So in this case, I chose the area right about there.
All right, and we'll actually move on to Exhibit 3.
Which is a few inches away from the latch of the seatbelt.
And that's on what we would call the lap belt area.
Correct.
Moving on to Exhibit 332. And is that the same image as the Exhibit 332 marked in front of you?
Yes, it is, with a number 2 sticker added, as well as an arrow kind of just to indicate where testing and collection was completed.
And then Exhibit 333.
A zoomed in image of that same area.
So again, we have that white sticker with the number 2. For this case, what does that mean?
Item 2 marked from this vehicle, and that's the area that testing was completed for phenolphthalein and hemotrace, and where the swabbings were collected for future analysis.
All right, and so what testing did you perform?
Phenolphthalein test again, so presumptive positive for blood, and then a hemotrace test as well.
And again, that hemotrace is to then confirm whether or not that's blood from a human or higher primate?
Correct.
And what was the result of that test there?
Positive.
Turning to 334 just quickly, what do we see there?
Same image, just from a different angle, slightly zoomed out, and I think the This picture was to show more reddish brown staining up on the shoulder area.
And that's on the seat belt, the shoulder strap, correct?
Correct.
Exhibit 335.
Slightly different angle, same idea, reddish brown staining on the shoulder strap of the seatbelt.
And Exhibit 336, what do we see here?
Slightly different angle, that's where the seatbelt retracts to.
All right, and now moving on to Exhibit 337. What portion of the vehicle is this?
This is a vent on the front right passenger dashboard.
Now looking at 338, what do we see there?
This would be the same area, just with a scale and number 3 sticker added.
Looking at 339, is that the same but just zoomed in?
Yes, to show reddish brown staining right there.
And so there's a small kind of a ruler sticker showing increments 1, 2, and 3, where you're indicating to a reddish stain just above the about 2 mark on that.
Yes.
All right, so again, we see here we see a sticker number 3. What does that signify for this case?
This is the third area that items were collected from. So a swabbing of this area was also completed and packaged up as item A3.
Did you do any additional testing in this area?
I believe I did a phenolphthalein test, so a presumptive test for blood, and that was positive.
And was that all the testing that you did for this area?
Yes.
Then for both this area and area number 2 that we just discussed, you passed those samples on for further testing by someone else in the lab?
As well as item 1, yes.
Correct. All right, now looking at 340, 340, what are we looking at here?
This would be the top of the front right passenger door. We'll typically put a white sheet up behind the glass because otherwise it's really hard to visualize if there's anything on the actual glass.
And what, if anything, drew your attention to this area?
There's a lot of reddish brown staining, little specks throughout the window.
Looking at Exhibit 341.
Just a zoomed in area of one of those reddish brown specks with a scale added.
And so one of the specks, though there's several, one is just above the scale, again above the number 2, but is that a fair description?
Yes, right about there.
342.
I believe this picture is slightly to the left of the previous picture, just to show more reddish brown staining on the window.
343.
Again, I think it shifted slightly to the left again, to show more reddish brown staining on the window.
And now looking at Exhibit 344.
There's reddish brown staining on the inside center console, the front right passenger side, and then there was a sticker added for a scale as well. So, right.
And looking at Exhibit 345, is that a zoomed in picture of that same area?
Yes, it is.
And what do we see? I see that there's again a scale sticker. What do we see above that scale sticker?
Some additional reddish brown staining.
Looking at Exhibit 346.
This is a picture of the center console from the front right passenger side. The Mountain Dew bottle would have been removed at this point. Inside the cup holder, There was some additional reddish-brown staining, so a scale was placed in there as well.
And looking at Exhibit 347, is that a zoomed-in picture of that same area we were just looking at?
Yes, it is.
And then what do we see above, or about the one of that scale sticker?
The reddish-brown staining that I was talking about, right there.
And then Exhibit 348.
That's underneath the front right passenger glove box. There is some reddish-brown staining, and there's a scale placed there as well.
And then 349. It's difficult to see, but is that a zoomed-in image of the last image that we saw?
It appears to be, yes.
All right, Mr. Nallid, I'm now showing you what's been marked as Exhibits 350 through 379. Can you just take a moment to look through those? Do you recognize those images?
Yes, I do.
And what are they?
These are the images of the second vehicle that I photographed. It's the 2002 blue Dodge Ram 1500.
And then just directing your attention to exhibits, specifically 3, 6, 7, and following. Are those images from the third vehicle?
Yes, they are.
And are all these images true and accurate representations of those vehicles as you process them?
Yes.
I'd move admission of exhibits 350 through 379. They have been previously provided to defense.
No objection.
Will be received.
I would also ask permission to publish.
Permission to publish.
All right, now directing your attention to exhibit 350, 350, is that image that's displayed the same as the image that's been marked as 350?
Yes, it is.
All right, and what do we see there?
This is an image of the vehicle on a flatbed truck right outside our garage at the Madison Crime Lab.
And so is this the way that the vehicles would be transported to the crime lab?
Yeah, it's common for them to arrive like this.
And in this case, we see yellow tape along the seams of the doors. Can you tell us about that?
Sure, it's the same idea as the evidence tape. Basically, it's just to show that the item wasn't tampered with during transport.
All right, moving on to exhibit 351. What are we looking at here?
This is the rear of the truck.
And then looking at exhibit 352. What are we looking at there?
This is what was in the bed of the truck with the tailgate down.
So just as you testified earlier, then is it part of your process in processing this vehicle to then do an inventory of everything that's in the vehicle?
Yes.
Looking now at exhibit 353. What perspective of the back of the trunk does that show us there?
This is a zoomed in image of the left side of the truck bed.
Looking now at 354.
That's a zoomed in image of the right side of the truck bed.
Looking at 355.
This is items removed and put onto the white paper for photographing.
Looking at 356, what are we looking at there?
It's the OxyClean Arm & Hammer stain fighter, and there's some reddish brown staining on the handle.
Showing you what's been marked as Exhibit 382. Can you just first tell us what we're looking at from the outside?
Sure. This is when I packaged the item up, put it in this paper bag here, and labeled it with item B1, A&H, Arm & Hammer, with OxyClean detergent with reddish brown staining on handle.
And was that previously opened this morning?
It appears so, yes.
And could you take the contents out? Now, is that the same, does that appear to be the same Arm & Hammer detergent that was retrieved from the back of the Dodge Ram?
Yes.
And so then, what happens to that after you're done with it, I guess?
After I'm done with it and it goes to the evidence technicians, the DNA analyst would pick it up and typically would swab the area in question of the reddish brown staining in this instance.
The state would move Exhibit 382 into evidence.
No objection.
And so then in this case, this physical item is passed on to other analysts at the lab, correct?
Correct.
Now looking at Exhibit 357, what do we see in this picture?
This is like Bissell, I believe is Bissell, carpet cleaner, I believe, and a few other things. Gas can.
And to your knowledge, is well, can you tell us where the gas can is in this picture?
The top right of the image.
So in the top right, there's a dark red canister. Is that what you're indicating?
Right there, yep.
Is, to your knowledge, is petrol another word for gasoline?
Yes.
Turning to 358, what is that?
This is an attachment for that carpet cleaner. There's reddish brown staining on it.
And looking at 359,
Also appears to be part of that carpet cleaner with reddish brown staining.
looking at 360, is that a zoomed in picture of the last exhibit?
Yes, it is.
And what, you mentioned in the previous exhibit that there was some reddish staining. Can you identify that in this picture?
Sure. It's not showing up as well on that picture as it is here, but there's some right there, up on the back here.
All right, so is it fair to say that you're indicating there's sort of a parallel cross-section almost across the middle of the picture, and are you indicating to spots on that middle section where you see the red staining?
Yes.
Here's to the right side of the piece of the foot is this way.
Correct.
Turning to Exhibit 361, what do we see there?
Just a different angle of that same carpet cleaner with reddish brown staining.
Exhibit 362,
Again, another angle with reddish brown staining on the handle.
and is that at the very, there's a distinct white portion of that handle, and are you indicating to the bottom of that white handle portion?
Yes.